Immigration. To what extent do countries have the ability to defend their borders under Catholic teaching? And to what extent do people have the right to migrate?
Both. It's both. And there's always an extreme on this issue. There is clearly a right to migrate. God made the world for all human beings. That's called the universal destination of goods. For example, like Aquinas would say that you can't kill out of necessity. So like if I need to live and, I have to kill you to live, even if you're not threatening me, if I need to kill you to get something, no, you can't do that. You can't kill out of necessity. You could take out of necessity and it wouldn't be stealing. If I'm lost in the woods and there's a cabin and it's snowing, I'm going to die. I can break into that cabin and find shelter, and it would not be sinful to do that. But if I'm just hiking and I think, oh, it'd be cool to stay here for the night and just break into this guy's cabin and stay there with my 2 other bear friends and eat his porridge, that would be theft because it's not in a case of necessity. Fleeing ethnic cleansing, for example, or grave threats to life, or fleeing religious persecution. There are many reasons where someone would have a legitimate right to migrate to provide for the good of themselves and their family. Now, that being said, the Catechism does say that more prosperous nations, to the extent they are able, should welcome the foreigner into their land. But the foreigner also has an obligation to respect that country, to assimilate, to preserve the order of society. There's clearly a right to have borders, otherwise you couldn't have nations. But there is also a right to migrate. And I think in general, there is, given the preferential option of the poor in Catholic social teaching, when looking at the scales, it will tip a bit in favor of the migrant. But there's many policies today that are anti-Catholic and trying to say there's no borders, migrants have no duty to the host nation that brings them in, so they can bring with them dangerous ideology, for example, like Muslim Sharia law. That would be something that would be contrary to Catholic teaching. When it comes to what particular policies one might have or how to enforce immigration rules, it's a prudential judgment people are going to disagree about.
Prudence is an important virtue.